All hail, everyone, and welcome back. Another episode. I'm saying it like I got a lot of episodes. So this is another video. I think the series that is starting to come to fruition. I think I'm gonna call it "Who is the Elijah?" Of course, many theologians, especially in the Jewish faith, are still waiting for the Elijah to appear. And so, we in the Church of God and Saints of Christ believe that Elijah has already come through William S. Crowdy. And so, I'm just going back in history, pulling out publications and different articles and writings about him and presenting it to the world. I'm taking this journey. Every day is kind of new. I'm receiving more information every day. And so I'm just enjoying the ride. So today's episode is based on a publication that I found. I wasn't able to get the publication date, but I believe it has to be between around 1892 and 1899 when this publication was written. I want to say maybe between 1896 and 1899. So I'm going to pull it up and we're going to take a look at it. And yeah, we're going to go from there. Here we go. So, William S. Crowdy, the colored evangelist who claims to be a John the Baptist and that he precedes Christ only a short time, is working wonders among the people in Emporia, Kansas. He says he has received a message from God to go to Washington and convert Bob Ingersol. So after I had read this, I was like, okay, let me find out who this Bob Ingersol person is. So I did a little quick research, nothing too thorough. I went to Wikipedia. There we go. Robert G. Ingersol. Robert Ingersol. Born August 11th, 1833. Passed away July 21st, 1899. His nickname was the Great Agnostic. All right, he's a lawyer, writer, orator, golden age of free thought, who campaigned in defense of agnosticism. Okay. So, for those who aren't familiar with that term, agnostic or agnosticism, let's pull it on up. It is a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence or nature of God, or of any beyond material phenomenon. A person who claims neither faith nor disbelief in God. All right, so these are some of the similar words: skeptic, doubter, questioner, skeptic, doubting. Okay. So it's a person who holds the view that ultimate reality such as God is unknown and probably unknowable. One who's not committed to a belief in either the existence or non-existence of God or a God. A person who is unwilling to commit to an opinion about something. A political agnosticist. Okay, so kind of got the premise of what he's all about. Let's go into a little more. Here we go. So, Robert Ingersol, okay. He fought in the Union Army in the Civil War after raising a cavalry regiment from Illinois. He was a lawyer who counted the wealthy and powerful among his clients. He was a committed Republican who stumped for GOP candidates. He was a silver-tongued orator whose lectures drew thousands and earned him thousands of dollars a pop. He was also, by all accounts, a really nice guy. And Ingersol accomplished all this without believing in God. Ingersol's disbelief was the quality that most fascinated 19th century audience that packed the theaters to hear him speak. He was known as the Great Agnostic. Some called him blasphemer or infidel. Ingersoll was born in New York or upstate New York in 1833 to an abolitionist minister and his wife. He knew the Bible backward and forward, but preferred the work of Shakespeare. Ingersoll objected to organized religion, especially its obsession with damning believers to hell. Okay. He thought religion should be destroyed. In its place, he wrote, "I want humanity. I want good fellowship. I want intellectual liberty. The religion of art, music, and poetry. That is to say, the religion of this world." Okay. All right. So so we kind of understand, he was a influential person who was going around with his influence, packing theaters, thousands of people coming to see him speak about how he doesn't really take a stance on what his belief is in terms of God. Okay. I've read a little bit more into him. Some people call him one of those who is a contributor or a father of atheism. So, William S. Crowdy having a personal message from God to go convert this person, it probably was because of the much influence that he had at the time and spreading his particular gospel. So, so the question becomes, did William S. Crowdy, did he convert him? So I did some research, and I think you would find it interesting what I was able to find. So, in terms of did he convert him, I came across this. It says here, the deathbed conversion of Robert G. Ingersoll. A death conversion is burning your candle in the service of the devil and sniffing it out in the face of the Lord. Okay. But yeah, a deathbed conversion of Robert G. Ingersoll. So let's go into this. It was written by Tim Binga, August 18, 2014. So it says here, the Ingersoll conference occurred this past weekend, and while I was preparing some displays for the event, I rediscovered many interesting items that are part of our library's collection. I also discovered some history about Ingersoll and his supposed conversion while on his deathbed in 1899. Okay, let's do timelines. So that article had to have been written before 1899, or before at least July 21st, 1899, because the prophet said he was going to convert a living Bob Ingersoll. So I'm guessing it was maybe before then, or a year before then, or something. And it says here that Ingersoll passed away on July 21st, 1899 in New York. So I know that the prophet was in Emporio, Kansas, doing great works among them when he mentioned this. So I'm assuming that's where he was at the time, in Kansas. And he said he was going to Washington to convert Bob Ingersoll. And so I'm taking he had to have been, and I'm finding records where the prophet had gotten to Philadelphia in around, I want to say 1899 or 1898, but he started moving further east. He started taking his ministry to the east. And so the question is, all right, let's read a little more. One would think that the statement "religious views unchanged" would be sufficient to dissuade people from thinking otherwise. So, meaning dissuade people from thinking that Bob Ingersoll had converted. However, stories regarding a conversion on his deathbed began circulating, and finally, having enough of these rumors, mostly spread by highly evangelical clergy, Eva A. Ingersol, Robert Ingersoll's wife, with two others who were present, Sue M. Farrell, his sister-in-law, and Sue Sharkley, the housekeeper, signed the affidavit on March 17, 1906. This notarized affidavit restated and confirmed everything that was mentioned in the New York Times newspaper article. So in June 1909, David Eugene Olson, an evangelical preacher from Oregon, published another affidavit, this one signed by an Archie E. Berry, which stated Berry's father, Joel, heard Ingersoll's confession. So this person said he heard Ingersoll's confession on his deathbed, and that Joel was Eva Ingersoll's brother. A refutation of these falsehoods followed with a second affidavit by Eva and one by Maud, Ingersoll's daughter, who was mentioned in Berry's statement. Lying About Ingersoll by George MacDonald, Bluegrass Blade, Lexington, Kentucky. So for those who want to look that up, the reference is right there. This notarized statement indicated that not only were no outsiders present, but Eva was not related to Berry. An offer of $1,000 was made by anyone who can prove the statement by Berry was true. Okay, Warren C. Baines wrote a booklet pictured here on the incident and stated within that people still believe that Ingersoll recanted his agnosticism despite all the statements and evidence to contrary. The booklet itself is located at the CFI Library Rare Book Room and is only one of four known copies. Okay, so of course many believe that Ingersoll recanted his agnosticism despite all the people that's saying contrary. Well, again, I showed that William S. Crowdy had been given a message from God to go convert this Bob Ingersoll. So I find it very, I don't believe in coincidences. I only believe in signs that make you wonder. And so this is a sign that just makes me wonder. Somehow, William S. Crowdy, they might have crossed paths. They may have as well have crossed paths some way, maybe even through dreams. But it just, it of course is still a mystery and it's under great investigation. I mean, I would say only the Most High knows whether he converted or not. But it's very interesting that Prophet William S. Crowdy himself said he was going to convert this man. And then we find here a affidavit written by evangelical clergy that he, on his deathbed, made a conversion. Now the question is, what faith did he convert to? So, till next time on Who is the Elijah series. Again, prayerfully, with God's help, I will go into more about William S. Crowdy. I'll get a little more into genealogy. I'll try to get into some prophecy. And I'll definitely get into history, because William S. Crowdy is connected. He's directly connected to many events in history. And so I'll say till next time, and I'll say peace to everyone out there, praying again that all and everyone is well, and you all have a blessed rest of your day. Peace. Tribe up.